So as I said you before, I want to use the Teflon floss technique because it makes my life much easier, because as I showed you before, it's much more friendly for us because it will not gonna move the rubber dam and all the advantages that I showed you before. And I want to work with the matrices that have the thickness of 75 microns because it's quite easy to work with them, and it has a really nice curvature of the matrix. So is there any other ring that we can use to get the separation effect? And in this part I would like to show you the gold ring, best possible ring probably on the market, that will have all the advantages of the standard ring. So we would like to have the ring with the white triangle that is pretty flat, but has also the force of the Elliott separator. Let's check all the rings that we have on the market and let's find the best one for our restorative treatment. As you can see on this slide, you can use the metal rings from Thor company because you can use all advantages of those rings, like the white tip or very flat tip, and what is more, it's pretty cheap ring. However, you know that it's also pretty weak when we talk about the force. So you can easily use it with the matrices that has no more than 35 or maybe 50 microns. This is the maximum separation that you will get. For 50 microns, it's much better to use other rings, the stronger one, like the rings from the Garrison, BioClear or Palodent. But when we want to use the celluloid matrix like the BioFit or the Thor transparent matrix that has like 75 and more microns, then we need to use our Elliott separator or the special gold ring that I would like to present you for the very first time in this webinar. So how really should look like the gold ring, the best one, the one that will rule them all, like in the Lord of the Rings? The best possible ring should be as wide as Thor MD, as flat as Thor MD, and as strong as Elliott separator. And the question is there any ring on the market? Unfortunately, there is no such ring. But the good information is the fact that you can build it by yourself. And this is how we will gonna do it. So we have to connect the Thor MD ring with the Elliott separator. And this is how this ring gonna look like, and this is how it will gonna work. As you can see on this slide, what you've got here, you've got the matrix, Thor transparent matrix. You've got the MD ring with the ortho ligature, and you've got placed the Elliott separator on the ring. And this is why to construct the gold ring you need Thor MD ring, you need Elliott separator, and you need some ortho ligature. And on the next slides I would like to explain you step by step how you can do it and why is it so important to get all of these elements. So first of all, you have to take the Thor MD ring. Then using the diamond bore, you can make some little hole. You have to make the hole for 1 millimeter depth at least, because then it will be very easy to place the Elliott separator. Otherwise it will gonna slide from the ring. So this is very important step. And when you finish that, and of course you have to make these holes on the both sides, on the buccal and the lingual side of the ring. And then you can try, because you can place the Elliott separator easily and you can just screw it to maximize the force that you will get on the ring. And in this way you can get as much separation effect as you want. So let's check how it will gonna look like in the clinical situation. When you choose the appropriate matrix according to the matrix selection system, you work exactly like we talked before. So first you're gonna place the matrix, then you'll place the 2 Teflon flosses, then you will place the ring, then you will pull the Teflon flosses to adapt the matrix, and after that you need probably another 20, maybe 30 seconds. You will place the Elliott separator on the ring and you will screw it a little bit to get more force, to get more separation than the traditional ring. And it's really very easy because you just add another element that will last like 30 seconds, but in result you will get beautiful, strong contact point. And that's the beauty of the new MC ring. Another situation, this time with the active profile changer that we talked before. So as you can see on the left photo, first of all you will gonna place the matrix, then you will place 2 Teflon flosses from the both sides, then you will place the MD ring, then you will pull the 2 Teflon flosses, and if you see that Teflon invade the cavity, so right now the matrix is concaved to the internal part of the cavity, then you have to take the round burnisher and you can create as good profile of the matrix as it's possible, and you don't have to worry about the matrix deformation because you will never deform the celluloid matrix. And after that, after you do all of this, you will just place the Elliott separator, you will screw it to make the separation effect bigger, and you can fill the whole distal wall with the composite. So please try to find 2 differences on this slide, and as you probably see after a couple of seconds, between the left and the right side there is the Elliott separator placed on the MD ring. On the other side we'll do exactly the same story. So as you can see, we have the matrix placed, matrix is concaved to the internal side. You will burnish the matrix using the ball burnisher, and then we will place also the Elliott separator on the ring, and as a result you will get beautiful and strong contact point. As I showed you before, it's recommended to use the ortho ligature. That will help you to stabilize the matrix, because at the beginning I had situation when even I screw the ring with the Elliott separator, I still didn't get the nice contact point, so or it was really weak. And I was searching for some answers, and I found it that sometimes when you place the MD ring, because you've got this very wide triangle, sometimes the tip will not gonna hold the matrix in the good position. I mean, the ring will not make the matrix stable. So even if you screw it, if you make the more separation effect, but the matrix will not gonna touch the adjacent tooth, then after placing the composite you will not gonna have the contact point. This is why if you place the ortho ligature on it, it will be much easier to push the matrix to the adjacent tooth, and you always have to check it. So remember that when you screw the Elliott separator, always take the ball burnisher and one more time try to push the matrix to the adjacent tooth, and it must be as close as possible. So you have to see that the matrix is touching the adjacent tooth. Without ortho ligature, sometimes the matrix will gonna move back a little bit and there will be just a little space in between. So you have to be careful with this element. So to summarize, I would like to show you one more clinical example, just with all the steps that we talked before. As you can see, in this case we had to make the first molar and the second premolar to create a nice contact point. And you have to remember that you always have to start by choosing the referential point. So first of all, according to antagonist teeth, and as you can see, in this case, you got the cusp of the lower molar exactly in the interdental space where there is a contact point. So you have to be very precise not to be too high in occlusion. This is why you need to have some referential point, and you can see that you have to keep this high of the original contact point and original interdental space. As you can see on this slide, there is a really small height of the interdental walls and the curvature is pretty big, so it would be almost impossible to get this kind of shape with the metal matrices, because as you remember, the curvature is not so big as you can see on this photo. This is why after we prepared everything, after replacing the rubber dam, first of all I filled the second premolar using the transparent matrix and the Teflon floss technique. When you are doing the first wall, you don't have to use the ring at all because you don't need the separation effect, and you can see how beautiful and how smooth you can get the surface after using the celluloid matrix. And then after that, when you have to finish the second wall, this time in a molar, we will do all the steps like with the Teflon floss technique. We'll place another transparent matrix, then we will place the MD ring with the ortholigature, and now we will use our secret that you already know, that we will place on all of this the Elliott separator that will make the separation effect much stronger. After you make some couple of screw, you've got the pretty big separation effect, and as I can recommend you, don't be afraid of making the force pretty big. In this approach you can use almost as much power as you have in your hands, because it is not so easy to use too strong force, because you will see that it's not so easy to squeeze the ring more. So you need to go to the moment when you feel a really big pressure on the screw, and this is how we're gonna create beautiful contact point with appropriate position and with good strength of the contact point, and we can make almost the real copy of the initial situation. And that is all, guys. I hope that this whole course about the contact point was useful for you. I showed you all my secrets that I've got about the creation of the contact point, and as I told you before, for me as a restorative dentist, good preparation of the contact point is one of the most important aspect of the restorative treatment. With all that knowledge that we talked in this course, you will have a lot of possibilities, and it should make your restorative treatment much better and easier. Give yourself, of course, a lot of time to do that, to learn all of this, because at the beginning it's a lot of things that you have to take care, but you will see that after a couple of days or weeks you will get better and better, and there will be no other way to do the class 2 fillings. So train, and I wish you all the best with your skills, and I believe that you will be also a master of the contact points soon. See you guys, bye.